Ja, kopiere. Ja, aber wann redet der Tony Hawk? Kam einfach nur Fahrervorstellung oder was? Was ist denn das für ein Plan? So, herzlich willkommen zu den X-Games Munich 2013. Es ist Zeit für den ersten Programmpunkt bei diesem Event. Wir beginnen mit der Tony Hawk and Friends Vert Demo. Und das erste, was ich sagen darf, ist, ich darf euch die Fahrer vorstellen, die bei dieser Demo mitfahren. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, it's Mitchie Brusco on the vert ramp. We have another skateboarder, we have Andy McDonald, a skateboard legend. And then we have on the BMX bikes, Vince Byron, Steve McCann, Chad Kagi, Zach Warden, Elliot Sloan, and last but not least, the man himself, the skateboarding legend, Mr. Tony Hawk.
Crazy.
Die X-Games Munich, die Premiere in München hier im Olympiapark. Wir beginnen mit der Skate-Vert-Demo am heutigen Abend und wir schließen mit dem Mountainbike Slopestyle am Sonntag. Das wird der letzte Event sein, den wir hier zu sehen bekommen. Wir haben aufgebaut in diversen Hallen drüben im Eislaufstadion Street League und BMX Park und Skateboard Park. Hier sieht man die Mega Ramp direkt hinter uns für Big Air. Es gibt Rallycross, es gibt Enduro X, es gibt Freestyle Motocross und es gibt natürlich Halfpipe Skateboarding vom Allerfeinsten in München. Lasst was hören! Not too many people around. Was wohl daran liegt, dass es diese Karten nur exklusiv über diverseste Gewinnspiele zu gewinnen darf. Aber es wird gar großartig zu sehen, was die Jungs heute noch machen. Denn Mitchie Brusco zum Beispiel ist 17 Jahre jung. Tony Hawk fährt für mich schon ein gefühltes Leben lang. Denn der Typ ist mittlerweile 45 und killt es immer noch. Kann man auf seiner Website auch gut sehen, wenn man den Videopart sich anschaut. Welcome to Independent, was der Typ noch alles drauf hat. Dann ist Andy Mack hier, der Erste, der im Weißen Haus Skateboard fahren durfte. Engagiert sich in den USA sehr, sehr stark für ein drogenfreies Amerika, wurde eingeladen ins Weiße Haus von Bill Clinton und konnte dann im Weißen Haus auch Skateboard fahren. Ja, die BMXer, da bin ich gespannt, ob es Andy Zeiss, der hier für euch BMX zusammen mit Basti Wolter moderieren wird, noch rüber schafft. Und im Moment haben wir noch ein paar Trainingsruns von PLG, aber jetzt ist es gleich soweit. Die Tony Hawk and Friends Demo. Und das ist eine ziemlich lange Zeit her, dass Vert Skateboarden in Deutschland mit so einem Line-Up aufgeboten war. Und es war noch nie der Fall, dass wir logischerweise X-Games in München hatten. Und vor allem auch mit dem X-Games Riders Line-Up, das wir hier haben.
Welcome to Munich, Germany for the 5th stop here of 6 on the 2013 X Games Global Expansion. My name is Jimmy Coleman, sitting here in the booth alongside Corbin Harris, and we've got 4 days of competition set to kick off. But before we start each stop of the X Games, we always throw a big party that we call the Tony Hawk and Friends Demo. And for more on that and some athlete intros, we send it down to our house MC, Alex Schwan.
Also willkommen in München zu den ersten ever X Games Munich. Und zum ersten Programmpunkt zu den X Games Tony Hawk and Friends Vert Demo. Und die fangen erst an, wenn ihr ein bisschen Gas gebt, München. Seid ihr da? Also Vert Skaten und Vert BMX vom Allerfeinsten, vom anderen Stern, und zwar das Ganze ohne Contest-Druck am heutigen Abend. Die Jungs sind da, Mitchie Brusco, Andy Mack, Tony Hawk, Vince Byron, Steve McCann, Chad Kagi, Zach Warden und Elliot Sloan. Und hier ist er, the one and only Skateboarding Legend, München, macht mal gerade für Tony Hawk!
So here we go, Corbin kicking off the weekend here with the Tony Hawk and Friends Demo. You heard the lineup there, several skaters in the mix, joined by a couple of BMXers as well, and what a great way to kick off the first ever X Games here in Munich.
Here in the ramp right now, Mitchie Brusco, he has just been going off at the last couple of X Games. He's unstoppable. Unfortunately at the moment, his back is a little sore. He's got his chiropractor here. So hopefully we're going to see him ride all the way through the weekend here in Munich. Andy McDonald's right in the ramp right now. One of the veterans here at X Games.
Wow, look at Andy taking it back to the 80s there. I like to see the inverts. You don't see guys throwing inverts anymore these days. I like it. I'm a fan of the hand plants.
Him and the man himself, Tony Hawk, definitely throw them in all the time. Frontside lip slide there by Andy Mack. Backside boneless. Just a little warm-up run, getting the crowd going there. Taking it back to the 80s. How you like it, Jimmy?
Oh, tuck knee even. Yeah. Going for the tuck knee invert right there.
Look at the spot that we are in right now. You wouldn't want to lose a board in the drink there, would you?
No, I heard in practice we've had a couple of boards end up in the water there. But yeah, that's an epic backdrop right there with the big air ramp and the vert ramp here on the stage. We got Elliot Sloan slinging a frontside heel flip.
Cruising straight out of New York City. He has been one to watch, not only on the vert ramp, but in big air, and I'm sure he's going to come out strong for this contest here in Munich. Elliot was looking strong in Barcelona. Hopefully he can try and get that tail grab at 900. That's what he'd been looking for. Speaking
of looking strong in Barcelona, this is Chad Kagi, and Chad, he brought a brand new trick to the party in Barcelona in BMX Vert. He unleashed the front flip flare. Now that's not the first time it had ever been done. Keith McElhaney had done it back in 2006, but it was in the best trick competition. It had never been done in an actual vert run, and Chad Kagi did it not once but twice out there in Barcelona.
I saw that in Barcelona live, and it was unbelievable. The spin's so slow.
You know, it's a crazy looking rotation, and I remember when I first saw it a long time ago in Vert Best Trick, I never thought I'd be seeing somebody throw it in the middle of a vert run.
And he did it twice.
and you know, and Jamie Bestwick just learned him. I just saw Jamie Bestwick do one last week. And on the ramp right now, that's Zach Warden. You mentioned the mega ramp, and Elliot Sloan, he wants that tail grab 9. That gentleman right there, Zach Warden, he has been a powerhouse in BMX Big Air, taking gold medals the last 2 stops here.
The man himself, Tony Hawk, straight into a McTwist. Just a little backstory. Tony actually lost all his bags. He's got the kids here as well. He lost every single bag on the plane, and it just came in the last couple of hours. So thanks for bringing those. Otherwise, we would not have the Tony Hawk and Friends demo, as you said before.
It just would have been and Friends. and giving Tony some props. You and I were talking about this before we came on the web. He's a powerhouse. He travels all over the world, and he still gets out there and gets it done.
Like this. This is a McTwist, and this is how you do it. Look, he probably hasn't even skated once today. He probably had one warm-up run, and he gets straight into it. 45 years old, if I'm skating like that or anything like that, just at least rolling, I'd be happy.
On the ramp right now, Steve McCann of BMX Vert and BMX Big Air fame. See Stevie in the Big Air competition on Friday night. Yeah, going back to the Tony thing, he just, the bags literally just showed up not that long ago. I remember hearing the call in the office where they said, hey, we located his bags, but then someone had to go back to the hotel, go get it, bring it down here.
We're in a production meeting, so it was the last couple of hours. In the ramp from Brazil, they call him the Pitbull. It's Sandro Diaz slapping that tail down. One of the most, for me, he's a fun skater to watch because he's just a powerhouse. He goes so fast and so big all the time. Great skateboarder.
Huge 540s out of him. He does the Nard jar, which is the 540 where you end up basically coming in with a body jar, which is where you slap the tail on the top of the ramp. And he's also known for throwing the 900 on the ramp now, though.
He was the third person ever to do the 900. But this guy, let's talk about him. I want to talk about, he's Australian. Get in there.
So Vince Byron on the ramp right now. Vince not feeling it. That run right there, shaking his head, saying, you know what, I'll come back, I'll go for another run here in just a moment. But Vinny's a powerhouse. He's got that 540 tail whip in his arsenal of tricks and the 540 double tail whip.
Andy McDonald back in the ramp, one of the most consistent riders. He's out there skating in vert, and he's also in park. So I'm getting a couple of runs in at practice today over there, also with Rune Glifberg. Pedro Barros was out there as well with current cables. Course looks really good, so make sure you stick around and watch that this weekend. Skateboard Park is going to be a good one to watch.
Well, as we mentioned before, we're here live in Munich, Germany, and right now let's check in once again with our house MC, Alex Schwan, who's getting the German fans all fired up.
Elliot Sloan. Wieder runter.
Back at the game, hard to need Bergman. Locker 2 bis 3 bis 4 bis 5 Skate Sheets. Yeah, kommt jetzt auch nur wieder rein von Chad. So ungefähr 6 Minuten wieder. Was jetzt ja immer so weggehalten, sauber ist so nah dran rein. Schöner Play von Chad Kegi. Lässt sich auch locker angehen, rein mit Chad Kegi. Zukünftig werden wir den Chad Kegi, liebe Leute.
Chad Kegi throwing down some BMX runs here for the fans in Munich. And Sandro Diaz back in the ramp here. And you mentioned him being the third guy to ever do the 900. I saw him last weekend in a vert contest, and he was out of gas after a huge run and then tried to throw a 900 at the very end of his run. Didn't even really have the speed to do that, and got it all the way around, put it down, almost squatted out of it across the flat bottom. That guy's a beast.
He is a beast. He's pretty good at the Australian accent as well. He yelled out to me today as I was walking to the vert ramp, "G'day, mate."
That's pretty good, coming from a Brazilian.
I thought, who is that? And Sandro's laughing as he's walking up the vert ramp. Back into the ramp is Tony Hawk, the legend himself. Just slipping off there. But he's cruising. We've got some time.
He's not even phased at all.
No,
Like, yeah, I didn't take any practice. My bags just showed up. I'm just going to do him a twist.
How easily he does that.
Proper, too.
Another angle.
And then followed it up with a 360 varial on the next wall. Not too shabby for somebody with no practice, and you just got your bags a little while ago.
He's cruising.
Steve McCann busting out the tail whip there, framing the bike, does a 360. Body and the handlebars don't move.
Mitchie Brusco in the ramp. He's the child star right now. He's in 9th grade. If you're spinning McTwist like that in 9th grade, you're going to be pretty happy, let me tell you that.
Lean-air revert?
I like that.
I'm a fan.
Like that.
It was a weird camera angle for that, but I was like, that's a lean-air revert.
Yeah.
I guess not even a revert. He didn't even slide it around. He just did a lean 360 to fakie. How incredible is that? You're 9th grade, you come to all these X Games events, you're on TV. It's got to be quite the scene there at his school.
And I think he's put 5 pounds on, and he's grown 5 inches or something in the last couple of months. He's really filling out. He's going to be one to watch. I'm telling you. I mean, he already is. He's placing, getting medals. He's on the podium.
Zach Warden back into the mix here. We mentioned earlier he's got 2 gold medals at BMX Big Air, the X Games Global Expansion this year. Foz do Iguaçu, Brazil, he did a backflip, bike flip over the gap and then followed it up with a triple tail whip. Got him the gold there. Then he brought a brand new one to the party in Barcelona with a bike flip, backflip to late tail whip. So taking a look at the schedule, competition starts tomorrow. We kick it off Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time with Skateboard Park. You and Tony will be having the call with that one over in the venue. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern, we've got Skateboard Vert taking place. Then 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, Best of 8 X Games Munich. And also live on ESPN3. So pretty skateboard heavy day tomorrow from day 1 of 4 for competition out here at X Games Munich.
We knock 2 of them out tomorrow, and
you
then
and Tony are going to be busy.
We're going to be real busy, real busy tomorrow. So make sure you are checking it out.
Look at that
Skateboard Park.
Epic shot right there of the venue. We've got venues spread out all over the Olympic Plaza here. Have you been up in the tower yet? I've heard the view up there's pretty impressive.
I haven't been up in the tower. I got here a couple hours late last night, 12 o'clock, and I definitely want to get up there and check it out. Crowd's really starting to fill in now too.
I've heard it's quite the impressive view up there, and your credential gets you up there, by the way.
I hope so. Tony Hawk back in the vert ramp.
Oh, going Jeff Phillips style with the straight leg frontside air.
I spoke to him before. He really likes this ramp. He skated it before, and it's definitely comes into a factor for sure. The guys like the ramp because you know what, they're getting straight off planes, or cars and buses, and then they're skating straight away. So they got to like what they're skating.
And again, as you mentioned, he's got a nice crowd on hand here for the first day, checking out the Tony Hawk and Friends demo. Look at Mitchie, he's super smooth. I like his style. And you mentioned he's growing. He's got a few extra pounds on him. You know that actually helps out with the height factor, being able to maintain the speed and just blast when he's in the ramp, either here and on the mega ramp.
I mean, I've been told that he's got his chiropractor here. His back's really bad. But having to look at what he's trying right now in a demonstration, it doesn't seem like it's too bad. But maybe he just wants to get out there and skate. I mean,
either that or maybe in his mind, varial 540s are that's taking it easy.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm getting old.
He's like, you know what? I think I'll just take it easy this one. I'll just do a varial 5 this time around.
Fair enough. Mitchie Brusco, 3 X Games medals. And there's a lot more to come for the little guy.
Chad Kagi clicking into a stylish turn down right there. And a flare, that's a backflip with a 180-degree kind of a corkscrew twist. The flare invented by Matt Hoffman back in the early 90s. Matt Hoffman also our head judge out here this weekend at X Games Munich for all things BMX. So I talked about Zach with that big air gold medal that he got in Barcelona. He does a bike flip backflip, which basically you're doing a flip, but he takes one hand off the grip and he sends the frame of the bike around in the middle of the flip. But then after he catches his feet on the pedals, then he sent a late tail whip out of it. And I heard about it before we saw it in competition, and I thought, wow, that's a lot going on. And then you see it at real-time speed, and you're like, how in the world did he just make that happen?
Yeah.
And then after he lands it, you're going to do a 22-foot-tall quarter pipe. I'll just do a triple tail whip. But hey, got him another gold medal. And that contest in Barcelona was off the charts. We had 90s all the way down to 4th or 5th place. So getting in the 90s didn't even get you on the podium at BMX Big Air in Barcelona. That's how gnarly it's getting.
It is really gnarly. I mean, big air skateboard too, exactly the same.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got the little kids there. You've got a bunch of munchkins out there cruising around, like Tom Shaw, Mitchie Brusco, Jagger Eaton is out there. They're just...
I watched him in practice earlier today, just grabbing Indian corks out of backflip over the gap.
And he's laughing the whole time.
Yeah, just smiling.
50 Cent was giving him high fives in Barcelona. Why not? He's smiling too.
Hey, that's the kind of party it's been out here this year on the X Games Global Expansion.
It has. It's been a great party.
This guy's been a beast as well, both in vert and in BMX Big Air. I talked about that's an opposite flare, by the way, going in the opposite direction that he usually turns. We talked about the 540 tail whip, the 540 double tail whip. He also did a no-handed 540 on the mega ramp in Barcelona, and he's one of 2 guys that's ever 540 that mega ramp on a BMX bike at the X Games. The other one being Kevin Robinson. That's a pretty tall order when you're spinning 5s on the mega ramp on a BMX bike. That's the opposite flare. Vince usually turns to the right, so that one going to the left, so added degree of difficulty there for Vince.
Andy McDonald throwing down a 540. Kickflip mute. He's really got his tricks down. He's one of the most consistent riders out there. He's also one of the athletes who's been to
every single
X Games with Dennis McCoy, Rune Glifberg, and Bob Burnquist. They're the 4 athletes who have been to every single X Games. That's an amazing feat. Still up there, you know, killing it at every contest and placing. It's something to be proud of.
Tony back in the mix here. That looked like, from that camera angle, looked like a McTwist into an Indy 540. He hasn't skipped a beat. He's cruising. He's getting it done out there.
He's brought the family out this time. He's got everyone here. Oh, what do we got?
Oh, some
doubles.
Vert doubles going on here. Chad Kagi and Steve McCann. And some side-by-side flares. I like that because they both turn opposite directions, so they're going away from one another. That was perfectly timed. Good on you, fellas.
I think they've done that before, huh? For a demo.
Take a look at it again. Perfectly taken off at the exact same time, turning opposite directions.
Both landing really high up.
Nicely done by Chad Kagi and Steve McCann.
Back in the ramp, it's the pit bull out of Brazil, Sandro Diaz.
I love the way he just stretches that leg out on those Madonnas. He's got a great style on that trick.
I don't think anyone can really do them like him, you know? Retton Miller does them really, really well.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, Sandro really throws that leg out.
Anthony Furlong also has a pretty good Madonna as well. I got to give him props on that one. He's got a good style on that trick as well.
It's a tough one. I've seen it go wrong.
Oh, yeah. I've had it go wrong a couple of times.
And when it goes wrong, I've usually been side by side with someone in the hospital.
Yeah, when it goes wrong, you don't get that tail all the way on. You get a little bit of the truck, and the next thing you know, you're waking up on the flat bottom, and people are standing over you going,
Morning, Mom.
How are you? Steve McCann rolling back in here. Combo move with the X up to turn down. Look at taking the hands off on the flare. No-handed flare courtesy of Stevie. He's a little banged up this year. We saw him in Foz do Iguaçu, Brazil. Had a little bit of a rough go there in BMX Big Air. Right wrist has been nagging him for the last couple stops. Had a bit of a right ankle injury as well, but he's riding through the pain, and we'll see him in BMX Big Air on Friday night here at X Games Munich.
Mitchie Brusco right back in, and look how big he's going right there. No back issues whatsoever. Huge backside air. As we said, he had a little bit of back problem. His chiropractor's here, but he seems to be good. He's laughing. He's having a good time.
He's having a good time at trying body varial 540s. Or varial 540s, I mean.
That's what these kids are doing these days, Jimmy. You just gotta run with it. It's a warm-up run. Tony actually hurt his leg on a demo a little while back, and it seems to be bothering him a little more. Seems to be limping just out of it. I mean, he's still throwing down McTwist like it's nobody's business, so we'll see.
Yeah, for someone who's got a little bit of an injury going on, he's certainly not skating like it. He's been putting down some solid runs. You guys have had a heck of a run this summer after Barcelona. Following you guys on Instagram, you guys have had some pretty great travels.
It was, yeah, all thanks to Tony. We jumped on the Gumball 3000 rally, and I think that's where he might have hurt his knee. But it was a race through Europe, and it was amazing. We've had some really good times.
Tony back up on the deck, ready to give it another go. Maybe we saw some doubles out of Chad Kagi and Steve McCann. Maybe we'll get the famous Tony Hogg, Andy Mack doubles run. If
not, like before, I don't know if everyone saw it, but Tony's normally getting his photo taken with every single person. But Tony's whole family's here, and his son walked up to him and said, hey dad, can you take my camera and take a photo of me and my brother? It's like the only time he's taken a photo of someone else. And it looked like he loved it. It was great. I like that.
So let's toss it down now to our field reporter / announcer Alex Schwann, who's going to interview Tony.
Alles klar. Also dann lass uns mit Tony Hawk sprechen, wenn er schon mal nach München gekommen ist. Hey Tony, good to see you in Munich. Is it your first time in Munich for a demo?
No, I've been here a few times, but I haven't been in about 8 years.
So demo skateboarding, I mean, I'm watching you since I'm 14 years old, and you're definitely a legend in skateboarding also to me and to the crowd here. Like a lot of people showed up to see you. What does demo skateboarding mean to you compared to competitive skateboarding, sorry?
I think it gives you more creative freedom. You can try something, and if you fall, you can get up, try it again. And so in that way, you can actually try some of your harder stuff and less consistent things. So it can make for a much more exciting event.
So in the past, you've been traveling a lot through all of the world, skating demos and showing people what skateboarding is. If you look at the setup here in Munich, what they did for X Games for the very first time, what do you think?
Oh, it's great. It's such a good venue. I mean, it's so beautiful, and it's perfect. It seems like this venue was almost made for X Games.
So in the past, you skated doubles a lot as well, together with Andy Mack. I was watching this as well. Will you do it today as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. Excited to see. Thanks, Tony Hawk. Thank you.
See, there we go. We talked about the doubles, and now Alex just called him out on it. Tony, yeah, sure.
Well, he has to do it now. Hey, it's a no-brainer for those guys. I mean, they've won, I think it was 6 gold medals.
Oh, yeah, they're on that very short list of 6 Peters at the X Games for skateboard vert doubles, those two.
I mean, their routines were just something else. I've never seen 2 guys so in tune with what they were doing on skateboards. And, you know, Andy Mack was doing 50-50 while Tony Hawk would be doing tail slides on his board.
I was going to say, it's not just doing side-by-sides or crossovers. Those guys are literally switching out boards and stuff.
Yeah.
Like one of them will fly out and then the other one will toss the board to him and then they'll come back and go the other way.
It's pretty cool.
It's insane. And they've lately been venturing into the triples realm. They've added Mitchie Brusco into the mix, and those guys just did a team contest out at the Clash at Claremont event out in San Diego a couple weekends ago. And triples with Mitchie Brusco involved in the mix. Cool. I've seen it once before, and it was pretty impressive.
The other one I saw was Tony Hawk do with Aaron Murky, Jaws, who's in the X Games park. He did a backside boneless off his backside while he was doing while he was on all fours on the back.
How did that work?
Yeah, he just went straight off his butt and then went back in.
No
that was
way.
it. He was in. It was hilarious.
Oh man.
It was in Foz do Iguaçu in the first summer stop here at X Games.
That would have been a sight to behold. So Andy Mack dropping it back in. It's just about, oh, look at that. How about a hand plant up on the crossbar of Steve McCann's handlebars?
That was cool. He seems like he just makes it so easy, Andy Mack.
You know, and you mentioned his consistency earlier. It's just, it's mind-boggling to me how that guy puts together a run time and time again. Look at this.
Here it is. It properly grabs on. He holds it. He's holding it for a couple of seconds there.
That's a pretty tall invert, too, considering you're stalling on top of a set of handlebars. I've seen Bucky Lassick do that before on a BMXer's front tire. But Andy says, you know what, I'm forgetting the front tire. I'm going straight to the crossbar.
Bucky Lassick, that's another one to watch over the next couple of days. 2 X Games golds in a row, and every other contest out of this is won as well.
Chad Kagi just did an invert on a BMX bike. Only seen a couple of guys try that one before. I guess he saw some of the skaters doing inverts and said, you know what, I got that in my bag of tricks too. Yeah, Bucky's on a tear this year in vert. And speaking of on a tear, there you go. So much for the back issues.
There's no back issue. Kickflip varial 5.
Yeah, I do a varial 5, and then you're going to try a kickflip varial 5.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that there were any back issues whatsoever.
Look at how quickly he brings that around, too. That board's not off the feet for very long. He's got a really good style.
That 5 pounds and 5 inches is really working in his favor.
I guess getting your own driver's license, too. You don't have to have mom drive you to the skate park, so you can go whenever you want.
Yeah, he's not coming home at 10 o'clock. He's staying till 12. It's the extra practice is what's going on here.
He's staying for the extended session.
Maybe that's what I need to do is get my license.
Zach Warden putting down a tail whip. We'll see. I'm excited to see what Zach does Friday night in BMX Big Air. That contest was so ridiculous in Barcelona. The level of things that were going on in that event, from Zach, from Vince Byron, from Colton Satterfield, I mean, Chad Kagan, I mean, all of these guys are just putting down some amazing tricks. It's really progressed so much lately. Vince with another opposite flare. Showing you he can work the lip of the ramp as well. So we talked about Zach Warden and that bike flip, backflip that he does. We'll take a look back to 1 month ago in Barcelona, the GoPro BMX Big Air. There it was.
Whoa.
You see, he catches it, and it's proper too. Watch this. Bike flip, backflip, sets the feet on the pedals, and then sends the whip out of it.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that trick. And that's not the end of it. He does a triple tail whip from the quarter pipe out of it too. Here we go. Vert doubles with Tony and Andy.
This is what won them so many gold. You know why. Look how in sync they are. Cruising. Back to that big air. There are so many things to think about when you're going over that gap.
That's a lot going on.
It's a 75-foot gap too, he's over?
I believe so. That's a lot going on in one trick there. And when I heard about it, I thought, all right, well, it'll probably be all one fluid motion. And then I saw it in the comp. I was like, he got his feet back on the pedals, set it, and then sent it around.
No, it's proper.
It's crazy what these guys are doing. I mean, Chad Kage's doing cliffhanger backflips, which, I mean, cliffhanger, it's wild enough to see that on a motocross bike. But it makes sense because of the weight of the bike. It's 225 pounds, and you hang on to that, go around the rotation. Then you do that on a BMX bike, and it's about 23 to 26 pounds. And it's insane. And Colton Satterfield, it seems like every time that guy comes on these events, he's got 1 or 2 new tricks. And then Vince Byron, he did, I believe it was a 270 double downside tail whip into a no-hand 540 on the quarter pipe. It's just, I mean, could go on and on and on about the stuff those guys are throwing down.
Those guys are really picking up tricks quick. How far off do you think Vince Byron and a couple of those guys are getting that gold medal?
You know, with Big Air is starting to turn into what BMX Park has always been. With Park and Dirt, it's anybody's game. I mean, you've got some guys that are favorites coming into competitions, but literally anybody can put it together. And then, you know, you've had a run of dominance, you know, in Big Air, and now it's just crazy. I mean, Kevin Robinson's got a couple of gold medals in it. Chad Kage's got a couple. Steve McCann, you know. Zach was knocking on the door last year in Los Angeles. He had the gold medal spot, but then Steve McCann's last run, he took it away from him, so Zach had to settle for silver. But this year, Zach said, I want the shiniest one of the bunch. So he's got 2 of them.
There it is, Big Air we've been talking about, and Tony's in on the ramp. What a venue we have right here.
Well, looking at the vert ramp's huge, but that shot right there, that gives you an accurate description of the size and scope of that thing. I mean, they don't call it the mega ramp for nothing. I mean, that thing is massive. And what a great venue they've got where they built out the stage here and they put it out on the water. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at that shot right there. And X Games Munich spread out all throughout this venue. One of the buildings a little ways down the path, they'll have the motocross events in there. There'll be freestyle, step up, best whip. And then had a chance to go over to one of the smaller venues and go check out the BMX Park course and Street League course. Looks pretty epic in there.
Yeah, I was over there today, and the riders really like it. Street League course looks amazing as well. It's going to be a great stop.
BMX Park is going to be awesome as well. That course looks absolutely phenomenal inside that building.
We've got rally too and mountain bike.
Oh man, we didn't even talk about slopestone mountain bike yet. Oh, I'm just looking out the window right now at that venue. I was excited about it beforehand, and then looking at the size of some of these elements these guys have to hit. Oh boy.
So from where the camera is right now, behind the camera is a huge course. You're going to see it this weekend. We'll reveal it. It's an amazing course. So make sure you stay tuned. ESPN is going to bring you all the action.
Now those guys get practice on Friday morning, and then oh, look at that. Doubles Chad Kage and Vince Byron with some flare whips. Wow, that's a backflip 180 while you're doing a tail whip, and there you go. There's the shot you were talking about. You look past the pond and up on that hill.
Now, Jimmy, also from the top, where we can see where it starts up the top there, and it comes down to the left and comes back around to the right.
That's a 25-foot step down that you start off your run with. And I have to go take a look at that huge feature.
And then it lands over here where you can see the Red Bull sign is.
You go through the house, go over the Red Bull step down, and then you got to hit the brakes because you're going straight towards the water at that point.
And they're telling me that it takes 40 seconds to get from top to bottom.
I thought somebody was maybe hazing us a little bit when they said that, but apparently not.
Did someone just want me to say that live to air, and then now you're laughing at me?
Wow, 40 seconds to get down that course. I can't even imagine what these guys. Well, I can't imagine because I've been watching some web clips prior to getting here.
I'm sure.
Speaking of the devil, we've got the crew out there working on the landing ramp as we sit here and talk about this Tony Hawk and Friends demo.
I mean, it'd be a pretty good feeling to come across that water knowing that you've had a flawless run on the mountain bike and come straight out, land over water.
I would think it would be a pretty good feeling just to make it down that 25-foot step down
Yeah.
unscathed. I mean, I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm looking at that thing and I'm thinking, no.
I don't think I'd take the smallest jump out there on a bike at all, so that counts me out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what those guys do. First practice is Friday morning. Their event's on Sunday. 16 riders in the mix. They'll have an elimination round, and then they'll cut the field down to 10 going into the finals on Sunday. So looking forward to that one.
I can't wait for that one.
I can't wait for this guy right here, Elliott Sloan. I want him to make that tail grab 9. He wants it so bad. I was talking to him about it over the weekend. I mean, it's so close. He's been knocking on the door with that thing.
We were talking about it this morning with Tony, myself and Tony Hawk were talking about it, and if there's someone that's going to upset Bob Burnquist for that gold medal, it is going to be Elliott Sloan. Let me tell you that. He wants it, and he's come close.
Well, get that tail grab 7 over the gap and then do the tail grab 9 on the quarter pipe. That'll be amazing. So looking at the schedule again, tomorrow it's a skateboard heavy day here for day 1 of 4 for X Games Munich. Started off at 11 a.m. Eastern with Skateboard Park, and then 1 p.m. Eastern with Skateboard Vert. So you and Tony are going to be awfully busy in the booth tomorrow. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, it's Best of X Games Munich. And we're also live on ESPN3.
Obviously, the two guys we're going to watch out for Skateboard Park is Pedro Barros out of Brazil. He is unstoppable at the moment in any contest. Last couple of X Games as well. He just takes that gold and keeps walking with it.
He just won Dew Tour this past weekend for Skateboard Bowl as well out in Ocean City, Maryland. And the amount of speed that guy has when he flies through the park course and the way he works those corners, it's amazing.
And the other one, Vert, is also tomorrow. Sorry, 1 second. We've got a triples run going on here.
That was Andy, Tony, and Sandro Diaz.
High-fiving it out.
The fans here in Munich like that. They're a fan of triples. Look at this.
Here it is.
Tony's got to shoot the gap here. Oh, and he backs. I thought he did a backside air. He backside ollied over Andy. Andy's doing a crail slide.
Sandro is so high above everyone else. You know, like, okay, we'll send Sandro up there. We know we're not going to hit him at all. As I was saying, we've also got Vert tomorrow. Bucky Lasek is going for his 3rd in a row gold medal. He's unstoppable at the moment. He's just, you know, everything from Van's Project Pool Party, Dew Tour, X Games gold medals. He's non-stop. So, yeah, congratulations to Bucky Lasek, and I'm sure he's going to try and keep this winning streak going.
Yeah, what a season he's having, and we'll see if he can make it 3 in a row. Oh, look at the layback. The layback air.
Oh, Tony! He's really found his legs now. It doesn't look like that knee's bothering him whatsoever.
Lots of Tony Hawk fans on site here in Munich.
Look at him just popping off the curb in there.
That's impressive. That is some serious board control right there. He's going to do a fakey ollie, tap my foot on the coping.
The Birdman behind Birdhouse Skateboards himself, Mr. Tony Hawk.
Steve McCann spinning the bars, going for an opposite look back there. As we mentioned earlier, he got the gold medal in Los Angeles last year, X Games LA, in BMX Big Air, edged out Zach Ward, but it's been a new story here in 2013 with Zach taking gold.
Someone's been training. Someone's been on that mega ramp.
And Sandro just blasting the combos.
How many more combos can he fit in?
Hey, just a frigid air to judo. Christ air to
all
judo.
smiles.
And again, you mentioned the 900 with Sandro, third guy ever to do it. And first guy ever to do it in the middle of an actual contest run. And then that NAR jar, the 540 body jar, that, we talked about the Madonna, how that can go horribly wrong. I can't even imagine the lockup potential on a NAR jar. Don't get all of the tail.
I've thought about that so many times when he does that trick, and he seems to be so precise, and he just has it on lock. If anything ever goes wrong with that, he always just slides out on his butt and is out of there again, or is on his knees, you know? It never seems to be a problem.
I've never seen that trick go wrong for him.
Vince Byron back in, coming out of Brisbane, Australia.
Saw him and Chad earlier doing the doubles, and those guys did a couple of double flare whips. Vinny giving us the 540 here. 1.5 times around.
Andy McDonald, as we said, one of 4 athletes to compete at every single X Games. McTwist, Tony Hawk. A little backside ollie thrown in there. Liking the ramp and really starting to warm up now as well, you can tell.
Oh, the 1 foot invert to fakie. You know, it's amazing. Like, he'll go out and he'll skate, and then he'll put down some great runs, and then usually towards the end of demos, I like when he starts going into these runs where he does all 80s tricks.
Yeah.
He'll do 2 or 3 of those, and he does all stuff that was before 1989, and you're watching, you're like, wow. I mean, what do you even technically call that?
It's his like signature mover. He's been doing it for years and years.
We had a name for it in the early 80s, but it escapes me at this point. I can't remember it.
I'll ask him and get back to you tomorrow. Double kickflip. Andy Mack just coming off. Sun's starting to come out this afternoon for the Tony Hawk and Friends demonstration.
Oh, beautiful weather out here in Munich.
It was a little cold earlier.
Well, I heard it was super hot last week. Then they had some rain showers move in, and it was really chilly earlier, but the clouds have gone away and the sun's come out. It's actually turned out to be a great day here. Great day for vert riding, whether you're on 4 wheels or 2, out here at X Games Munich. Zach Ward, the one-handed invert, going into the tuck no-hander right there. Zach's got it. We keep talking about the tricks that Zach does in BMX or GoPro BMX Big Air on the mega ramp. He's also got a pretty unique one that he does on the vert ramp that he brought to the party at X Games a couple years back. It's called the windshield wiper. And what that is he'll go up, he'll do a tail whip, and then he'll catch it and kick it back the other way. So it's a tail whip one way, then back the other direction. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
And then going back to that whole bike flip, backflip thing, he actually does 360 bike flips as well. So instead of taking it upside down, he can rotate it horizontally too.
Steve McCann back in the vert ramp.
Steve just blasted some big airs.
Steve seemed to be injured in Barcelona a little bit. He was taking it easy. What was going on there?
Well, he had the ankle injury coming into Foz de Iguazu, and then he ended up crashing in his last run in GoPro BMX Big Air in Foz, and he just took a harsh landing to the bars and went over the bars and actually tweaked his right wrist, and it's been nagging him throughout the rest of the season. That's why he looked a little off in Barcelona. And I was talking to him about it the other day, and said the wrist is pretty much back up to par. Or the wrist, excuse me, the ankle's back up to par. The wrist is still bothering him just a little bit.
Yeah, he seemed to be playing it safe just a little bit in vert there.
Well, you know, like take a low landing, which is what happened in Foz. He kept coming up short on the, I believe it was a double front flip, and then he went long. And when you land long like that, you overshoot the landing a little bit, and you take all that right on the hands, and it just blew him off the bars. He went over and just dinged that right wrist pretty good.
Speaking of taking on the hand, when Robbie Madison jumped down the gap in Vegas, he split his hand completely trying to hold on to that motorbike.
Going down the step down after he'd already made the jump?
Yeah,
Oh.
after he jumped up in Vegas, and then he jumped down to the Red Bull No Limits. He split his hand as he was holding. His wife was down the bottom, and it was just blood straight through between the thumb and the pointer.
Yeah, but what are you going to do at that point? You have to hang on. You can't yard sale going down the step down.
You're holding on. You don't care what breaks or you need stitches. If something was dislocated still, I'd still be holding on for dear life.
I saw him get a little loose in the landing, and I was wondering what was going on. I had no idea it was that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Matto's a trooper, though. He's a tough one. Oh, look, this could be entertaining. You got Tony and Andy talking it out on the deck right there. They're saying, you know what? Let's do some more doubles. What sort of crazy things do you think those guys are going to come up with now?
I'm sure we're about to see it.
There's another awesome sweeping shot there of the venue out here for X Games Munich. Is this your first time here?
It isn't my first time. I've been here a couple of times for a few skateboard events, early 2000s. Germany always turns it on for us. It's always good.
Great city. This venue is fantastic. This is actually my second time here as well. I came here for a skate BMX event back in 2005, but
I'm lucky. I'm here for a week, and then I go to Berlin for a week after that. So
you're getting the whole German experience out here for the next 2 weeks.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So if anyone's out there, I'm around.
They can catch you on Instagram, catch you here, and then catch you in Berlin. Are you flying or are you taking the train when you go?
We'll go through Austria for a quick drop.
Are you going to stop by and see your Red Bull friends down there?
Yep, Red Bull got a little private jet for us, so we're...
there you go.
Yeah, we'll be cruising.
Gives new meaning to the term, gives you wings.
Doesn't it? Sandro Diaz, the pitbull out of Brazil in kickflip Indy. Alley-oop 540, grabbing at Mellon, just coming off.
Alley-ooping that one a little bit right there. And he does so many crazy 540 variations. Keep talking about the Narjar. He'll do those Frigidaire 540s. And such a crazy spin.
Mitchie Brusco just coming off there. Guys kind of playing around with it a little more, seeing what they can do, pushing the limits a little more.
Well, you know what? Just get out there, have fun. Today's kind of a no-stress, relaxed practice day, and then as we showed you on the schedule earlier, start getting into competition tomorrow with both Park and Vert for skateboarding.
And we're straight into the finals. It's going all ahead here.
I understand there's a format change for Vert as well.
There is. We're going back to runs, so it's going to be 4 runs.
So no more lip trick session.
No more lip
best
trick. No, we've changed it, and it's back to the old way. But the old way obviously is the better way, so we're sticking with it.
I don't know. Bucky may argue that the other way, because the new way that you guys were running, he walked out of there with 2 gold medals.
You know what? to tell you the truth, I don't think any format change is going to stop Bucky at the moment.
I was just saying, the way he's skating right now. Yeah.
Format was similar, and yeah, that's right. He won due to it, so it's like he's.
Yeah, he's not missing a beat right now.
I think he might throw confetti over his head every time he lands a trick this time or something, just to try and make it a little harder for himself.
All right, so you saw doubles earlier out of these two. This is where it gets really crazy. Look how close they get to one another. When they start chasing one another on the grinds, that's when I get a little nervous.
It always makes it interesting, especially when one guy's looking back at the other guy to see how fast he's going.
This is one of my favorites.
Oh, here we go.
Check this one out. Andy's got the board on the coping, and watch this.
Oh! Going for the switch the board lip slide.
That could have got ugly. That back truck was awfully close to the coping.
Yeah. Let's check out the replay.
Look at how
Tony
he
jumps off. He jumps about 8 foot, 9 foot, tried to go up to lip slide on Andy McDonald's board.
He was barely up the transition before he jumped off of that.
Yeah.
He had to leapfrog to get up onto that board.
Hey, can someone send a message down there to tell Tony he can go a little high? He doesn't need to jump 10 foot in the air. It's not a high jump. What's going on? Maybe he was just trying
Before
to.
he leaves.
Maybe he was just trying to make it harder for himself. Hey, buddy, we know you're tall. Don't go that high. Oh, just coming off. I can't wait to see that.
Well, you know what? Maybe that was strategy. Maybe you have to jump that low to keep the board from coming after you, because if you go any higher, then the board comes after you, and your board's chasing you, which you're trying to do the lip slide. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, no, I guarantee that's probably half the reason for sure.
I'll have to ask him that later.
Tony's son in the background there. Miles taking a bunch of photos on top of the vert ramp.
I think I saw my co-announcer this weekend, Dennis McCoy, up on the deck there, checking out the Tony Hawk.
He's probably getting a few Instagrams up there, I betcha. Dennis has been on the Instagram program.
And we finally got him on Twitter as well. He was holding out on the Twitter thing, but look out, BMX fans. Dennis McCoy is on Twitter in 2013.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure his Twitter handle @DMCBMX.
I'm not going to say it's just all his Instagrams going through his Twitter, but I did.
You know, we talked about the list of athletes you mentioned that had competed at every single X Games. Dennis is one of them. Inspired, by the way, putting down an invert flare. Dennis is one of them. He's a little disappointed about this one. There's no BMX vert here. He says, this is going to ruin my streak a little bit. We'll have to put an asterisk next to it. He said, at least now I'm going every year.
Should we just make it flatland?
Well, we were talking the other day. We're like, maybe you could get a last-minute entry to
there he is.
BMX Big Air. There he is, the man himself right there, Dennis McCoy. Here's a little piece of trivia for you. Did a 900 at the first ever X Games, and then threw one down in Barcelona at BMX Vert last month as well. Still doing 900s.
Here we go right now. This is what we were looking for. Jumps off early, and the whip slide.
Wow, the portables took him out on the flat bottom.
Wow. That's Tony Hawk and Andy McDonald doing their doubles routine that they are so well known for. Those guys are killing it out there. Having fun. Up! And that's his signature maneuver. Tony is out of there.
Tony going for the old front flip fly out. Coming down to the flat bottom to take a bow to the fans here.
Andy McDonald and Tony Hawk doing their doubles routine. Let's check out the replay on that. Here it is.
Well, he went a little higher before jumping off this time.
He did. His feet, his front foot was right on the nose, and then his back foot slid down to the tail. That was pretty smooth. Here is the other angle. Up of the front flip. What, Misty flip? What do you call that?
It's a wild spin. And what's crazy is I've seen Matt Hoffman do that with his bike before as well when they do these demos. I've seen him eject the bike and front flip onto the deck too.
That's a thanks for coming. That is the demo. Well, that's Tony maybe.
Just another day in the office for Tony.
Isn't it? I mean, it's amazing that guy can just, he's bored. If you've just joined us, his board just showed up. That's one of his sons in the background, getting a little background props.
He just photobombed the shot right there. So I guess now we're just down to end friends since Tony's taking a seat here.
Well, he can have a seat because his board just arrived from the airport about an hour or two ago. They lost his bags and the whole entire family's bags.
Oh, everybody lost theirs.
Everyone. There was 8 bags missing in total, I was told.
At least it's consistent.
It's consistent.
Misery loves company.
So he's, yeah, you know, and his travel schedule as well is just unbelievable. The last couple of months, he's...
So you guys have been going pretty hard the last couple of months.
I mean, and I haven't even been on half the trips that he's been. He's been on Ethiopia, setting up water wells for kids with a bunch of other people from like Google and Facebook. It's been kind of crazy, which is really cool.
I think I saw a post on Instagram from Ethiopia.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing, setting up a bunch of wells there for the kids so they can drink water for the families out there. So he's doing good things. Also doing the Tony Hawk Foundation, setting up skate parks all over, getting kids out of trouble and getting them on boards or bikes, no matter what it is, as long as people are doing something.
Giving the fans a wave there on the far side of the vert ramp. That got quite a reaction out of the crowd, by the way, when he went for the front flip flyout.
There's Tony's two kids here hanging out.
So there you go. That wraps it up for us here. First day of X Games Munich with practice here and the Tony Hawk and Friends demo. Taking a look, slow-mo replay here at Andy Mack with the hand plant on Steve McCann's crossbar. And look at this, the triples.
Tony Hawk just making his way through there with a backside ollie. Here it is. One of his signature McTwists he does so easily.
And wraps it up with the flyout. Well, that'll wrap it up for the demo here. X Games Munich starts tomorrow on ESPN, ESPN2, and xgames.com.